A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all on frequency. This is ZA6YI with a worldwide net today. Not a very big net, but welcome to everybody on frequency. As usual, we just want to pay our respects and gratitude to the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to be on their satellite with our amateur satellite, which was largely developed by the German AMSAT amateur satellite team, AMSAT DL. And then, of course, very ably assisted with technology and know-how by AMSAT UK and the BATC. These organizations have made it very possible for amateurs to be using digital television and SSB in different modes via the satellite. So we transmit. For example, I'm near Johannesburg. I transmit directly into the satellite. It comes down, and people in the UK, as you will see just now, and in Holland, way down in the southern part of South Africa, near Cape Town, in Worcester, even into Brazil and Iceland, all over. So it's got a wonderful coverage. We do have a number of people watching on YouTube, because we do also relay the signal on YouTube. So what happens is I take the signal as it comes down from the satellite, and I put it through another receiver and a little laptop and onto YouTube. And hello to Stuart, ZR1 Whiskey Tango. Nice to see you on, Stuart. And also always to Adam, Sierra Papa 9 Alpha Charlie Quebec. Hello, Adam. Nice to have you on as well. Right, so the list today, let's just hook into that, is as follows. We have myself, then Leon, ZS1 Mexico, and then up to Martin in the UK, is going to tell us a bit about DMR Brandmeister, and then to Tom down the road from me. Hello, Tom. It's so good to see you coming up again. Always nice to have you on. We miss you when you're not on. And hello to Peter, GW7BZY. He's in Wales. And then Paul, Papa Echo 1 Alpha Victor Papa. And I'm sure Mike was on, G0MJW. He hasn't put himself on the board yet, but I saw his signature tune coming up. Good signal. So with that, Leon, I'll pass the microphone to you, sir. ZS1 Mexico to please take it from ZS6 Yankee India. Excuse the hoarse voice today.
Okay. Right. ZS6 Yankee India and the group. ZS1 Mike saying very good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. We are all roughly in the same time zone at the moment. Yes. Yeah, I also heard I heard Mike's rumble there. Yeah, okay, Gary. Yes, I saw the bit of footage on the news, on the Dutch news nogal, on BVN, and yeah, something went wrong with the controls of that plane by the looks of it. Either the tail broke off, or something, because it was just tumbling down. So yeah, maybe, yeah, well, as you say, Mr. Cartoon is not on today. He would have been able to tell us more. Anyway, okay, Gary, you didn't comment on this little gadget that I showed. This thing. But anyway, it's amazing. You just put it flat. It's got two little feet here, and it rides on that. And you can have the LEDs on or off. Cameras built in here. The focus is here. And the zoom is there. Then it's got a whole buttons and stuff. I must still read the manual. It's got a USB connection, and I don't know if you can have it on a PC or whatever to have an even bigger image, but yeah, it's very handy. It's also good for like surface mount stuff, you know. all in a little handheld thing. Crazy and very, very sharp. You can, if you focus it nicely, it's quite good. Otherwise, I'm busy packing, making ready to go back to Bredasdorp, to go back to work, as I'm in the working class again. So yes. Otherwise, not much news. I must contact the rocket people and just get clearance to show you guys the engine run of the liquid fuel engine. Yeah, I must try and see if I can do that sometime during the week. But the weeks are very busy and very short, and the weekends are even shorter. But I had my first QSO with my cricket transmitter this morning just before 12 to ZS1 Charlie Victor. And he says, yeah, he receives me quite nicely. So, yeah, it is working. Even in the spider web fashion that it's still at the moment. Not even on a PC board yet. Well, it's a piece of blank board with spider web dead bug construction. But just to see if it works. And, yeah, he says it sounds good. Okay, Martin, I'm going to give it to you. G8KOE for the group from ZS1 Mike in Worcester. Oh, so by the way, I ordered spares for another 2 mini tuners from the BATC shop several months ago, and no sign of it. Nothing. I took the last, that little USB module, the 2 NIMs and the regulators, and then one of those new Pico things, because they didn't have another USB module, so I got the Pico thing for the second one, because there's somebody here in Worcester that he's a ham, but he's also interested, but I mean, to get hold of this stuff for him is very difficult. So I'm trying to help him, but gee whiz, it's really taking long. I wonder if one can contact them somehow and see if they've got a tracking number, or or if they can track it, or find out what the heck's happened to it, because I have nothing. Anyway, right, Martin, take it. G8KOE for the group from ZS1 Mike.
From G8KOE, hopefully. Let's see if we've got a bit of audio before I mute it. Yeah, we have. That's good. I think Benno would be able to help. I think various people have been on holidays and such like, but you should be able to get some information on when it was sent, etc. So I'm surprised. But usually it's pretty quick coming out from the shop. But Benno would certainly have more information or more means of contacting or finding out or whatever than what I have. Yeah, well, I'm going to start. I'll try and get things in a sensible order. Then we mentioned the Open Tuner. It's what I'm using at the moment. It's on a Pico tune, which is on the network. I've got to say, since the latest version with the ability to come on, settle down. It's probably my transmission that's... Don't ever try and demonstrate anything. Is there another signal on? There is. Let's put another signal on. Then it will be less confusing, wouldn't it? That's it. Yeah, it's better. The ability to adjust the volume and to bring in, etc., and to get rid of the taskbar at the side. I think it's absolutely superb. It's working exceedingly well. So thank you there, Tom. Thought we'd get that in first, being you're actually on the net today. Let's go back to me. Yeah, I've been looking at various bits of what used to be junk, etc., that were kicking around, and I've confused myself now by putting a different image on the Open Tuner. So I was looking at it thinking, not me. So anyway, I was thinking what I could do with it, and I've got lots of DMR bits and pieces. Now, I do and don't like DMR, I will be honest, but it's a means of communicating, and I had a number of hotspots which have been sitting in the cupboard and not doing anything. So let's start off with my first little hotspot, which is, let's get a center screen, which is that one, which is a Raspberry Pi with a little hat on the top. That one's actually set for 2 meters at the moment and is monitoring talk group 9100, which I chose that number, which I think has been in use before, but I couldn't see many other people on it. 9, if I understand it correctly, means worldwide, and 100 obviously would associate with this one. So anyway, I've got that hotspot slightly closer up of the board. There's many boards, but this one's got a display on it. That's what it looks like here, and that's when I've accessed it. So I get displays when people are coming in as well, and usually the call sign. I've also got the Shark Open spot that's been sitting in the corner. I've resurrected that and brought that one out. And then there's this beastie, which I've had, which is a little mini repeater basically. It does 2 time slots with a Raspberry Pi and various bits and pieces. It never worked very well, but since I've resurrected it, it's been working very well indeed. So that's pretty good. Let's, I'm losing track of where I was going to go now. No, 9100, yes, I mentioned that. Oh yeah, I know what I was going to show. The not that one, that one. That's what the dashboard looks like. If you put a Pi Star image on, which makes it very easy to set up. As you can see, P1 MSW. I was chatting to earlier and helping him with DATV Red, which is what makes it very nice to communicate backwards and forwards. Makes it easier so I can look at something I've got mine and say, well, this is what I set it up for, because my memory is terrible and don't always get things right. But the thing I prefer, I must admit, for those is the All-Star system, which this one is my little node that I've got running at the moment, which is monitoring HubNet. But the thing I like about it, if anybody knows, it's based on a phone software effectively. So you can run full duplex on it, and it's peer-to-peer. So if we click on the bubble chart, it'll give you an idea of what's going on, he says. There we go. That's me down here in the blue. At the moment I'm connected to one of the HubNet servers, but the big thing is I could disconnect from there and connect directly to anybody, providing they've got their A port open. But you can decide, right, we're going to go and have a private QSO. Absolutely works well. Now there are 2 methods in setting things up. I go to my All-Star node, which is this one. That's the one that I'm running at the moment, which is the 888 Mofang, which is stripped down and modified. The sound card board and a Raspberry Pi, and just download the software and set it up. Now, our friend at has done a video, because there's another interface that you can get as well, which is ready built if you don't fancy doing the mods to the sound card. So I'll play a little bit of his video, the Tech Minds guy. I don't think he'll mind. I shan't bother it, because if you want to find out all the information, you need to go to his website. But we'll start off and just play a little bit.
Hi and welcome back to another Tech Minds video. So if you've ever wanted to try out All-Star, which is an extremely popular network of analog nodes, then one thing that may put you off, and that's there's no real off-the-shelf fully completed products. Well, apart from the likes of G7 RPG, who makes fantastic nodes fully built and set up. There are other fully built nodes made by other hobbyists, but what I will show you in this video will help you learn more about All-Star as you build the node yourself. An All-Star node normally consists of three main items: a Raspberry Pi or a Linux-based computer, which then runs the software, a specific type of USB sound card, and of course a radio which transmits and receives. If you can get past the Linux setup but don't want to modify a USB sound card and attach a radio, you can use one of these instead. Now, I purchased this directly from AliExpress, as I'd seen it around for a while and fancied trying one. Now, it works extremely similar to the popular Shari Pi Hat, which incidentally I do have a video on this channel if you want to go and check it out. Now, this little device has two USB ports, which plug directly into the USB ports on a Raspberry Pi, just like this. Now, the USB ports have been placed in such a way that they fit directly.
Right. So if you want to know more information on that, which includes the complete setup, then go to TechMind's video, or you obviously can build your own node. If you fancy having a go at building your own, let's go and do that. I'll do another video which I won't play all of it, but shows what's needed to build your own node. From G8KW over to this other little video. If you want to see the complete video, which just go onto YouTube and type G7RPG, and it'll run it through to the complete thing. You can buy the nodes directly built in that way from him, and he'll completely set them up. It's sort of almost an industrial standard, works exceptionally well. But and the big advantage with the All-Star network is you use a standard FM radio. You can also the nice Linux-based system, which I hate, but I've managed to fight my way around. But you can connect Echolink in if you wanted to, and a dial-in network and all sorts of other bits and pieces. It's actually endless what the software will do if you know what you're doing, which is not me. The other thing I was going to a little bit off, if people are still interested in the Caroline video, which isn't particularly good quality, but I'll happily play it at the end of the net if people are interested. I'll just play a little short bit of it. Yeah, the video runs through the complete raid of the station. It lasts actually about 40 minutes. I can find another one online, but not this one. This one was downloaded from BI6ALK's Renz's website many years ago, and I found it interesting anyway. So we've talked about time slots. We've talked about I think that's about it. But the audio quality on All Star is the way to go. Right, I think it's round to Tom next. I'll pop up a test card, and it's all yours there, Tom. And thanks again for OpenTuner. Brilliant.
Thanks, Martin. G8 KOE here from Zulu WW 6 Tango Golf. The audio sounds a bit off here. See. Okay, that doesn't look good. Okay, well there it sounds better, looks better. Okay, yeah. Hi everybody. It's been a while, so I'm a bit rusty with everything, but it looks like everything's still working. Good to see everybody today again, and yeah, like I say, I haven't been on for quite a while. Mostly been busy with work, and had a good week and a half that I was sick in bed as well, proper flu, fever and everything. So I haven't been that sick in a while, so I've been down for a while. But yeah, I've decided it's time to fire everything up again and just come up to say hi again. I don't have much to show, but I do have some projects in the works. So this week is the test to see if everything's still working, and then from next week I should have a lot more to show again. But it looks like everything is working, so happiness. But yeah, good to see everybody. Katie, always good to see you there. Leon, good to see you as well. Nice gadget there with the microscope gadget. That looks pretty neat. I'd be quite keen to see a bit more about your cricket transmitter that you mentioned. That sounds pretty interesting. Maybe you've showed it on previous streams, but it sounds pretty interesting. So I'd be keen to see more of that. And then Martin, good to see you as well. It's nice projects that you're busy with there. The All-Star node looks pretty cool. It has come up on my radar before, but I've never gotten around to actually put something together. So you might have inspired me there to try it out and give it a try. But yeah, otherwise all good. The weather is a bit funny here in South Africa, very windy today, but it's starting to get a bit hotter again, so I'm not complaining about that. But yeah, otherwise all good this side. Okay, yeah, I'm going to keep it short. Like I said, I just wanted to come up and say hi to everybody, and I'll definitely make the effort to be a bit more regularly on again every Sunday. I'm going to hand it over there to Peter. Peter, GW7BZY, here from Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf.
Okay. Have we got audio? Okay. Yeah. That's the reason for the delay on the test car, was that I was looking for remote control before I came on with the audio. Because obviously I'll be blasted by the sound monitor in the room. Yeah, all good stuff, yes. I don't think I've been on a Sunday for a while now. I can't remember last time I came on. Good to see you there, Liam. Nice little camera, yeah. It's good for looking at the board. I don't know how far you can hold it away, whether you can solder. What the the focus range is, where you can put the soldering underneath and do a bit of work with it. But definitely a cracking bit of kit. And I know Gary's got a really nice one there. It's really useful. The one I have here is the cheapest of the eBay microscopes, which works. It functions, but the view, the field of view is very, very small. Anyhow, Martin, DMR. You know what? I was big into DMR at one time, and I'd sorted out interested parties to supply us free with a Motorola DMR repeater. And I was at the time member of the local repeater group, and it was all in the bag, except it didn't happen. I got outvoted, and they have this less than reliable C4FM Yaesu proprietary system, which, it's not the same, it's not as good. So that was the end for me for DMR. I had a bit of a sulk and didn't bother with digital again. This is a few years ago now, so... There was a guy up the road from me till fairly recently. He ran a SDR station which I could tune into, and of course he's about another 800 feet higher than I am, and it worked really well. So I have thought about getting back into it. Unfortunately, in this locality, very few amateurs, maybe 4, maybe in regular use, and that would be it. But anyhow. Good to see you there, Paul. Excellent stuff. I haven't written anything that you've done, so maybe I haven't seen you yet. That might be the reason. When's Paul on? Oh, no, he's been on. No, he hasn't. No, you're at the end, aren't you? That's why I haven't seen. Apologies. Dry outside. I should be out painting my fence. I probably will go and maybe get on with it after I've finished this afternoon. I should have done it this morning, really, but it takes a while for the fence to dry. Creosote. Can't get creosote anymore in this country. Anything that works, you can't buy. Weed killer that kills weeds. Police. Anything else. A bit political, maybe. But even creosote. You can't buy creosote anymore. You get Creocoat, which sounds the same, looks the same, smells similar. Lasts maybe 3 or 4 years rather than the 30-odd years you get from a proper dose of creosote. But there you are. That's how it is here. The goody two-shoes have taken over the whole world, as far as we're concerned, at least the country, and it's falling fast. I think that's about it. Oil style sounded interesting. Might give that a go. I suppose it would be quite good. Good to see Tom on. Open tuner. Don't use it. Only reason I don't use it doesn't seem to. I have not found a way to make it work with quick tune or scan. Probably my fault there somewhere, but I'm still using mini tune because it's quite easy to set up with a quick tune, and it scans, and I want it to scan. That's the main thing I want from it, and it doesn't do it. So it looks great. I'm sure it works great. But if you're listening, Tom, if you can make it scan, it'll be my favourite. That's about it from here. What am I doing? Yeah. I think that's it from me. I'll come back again. I thought Mike would be on. I am working on a portable outfit on DBT. I can't find it. I can put my transmitter down. But Mobile Link, I think, is the next project at this end. I'll see if I can get that working. And maybe go out portable. And then, I don't know, legalities of it might be difficult, but whether I can transmit on 70 centimetres. I think we can use remote now. I can transmit 4 watts, I suspect, from a remote station back to here and then into the satellite. So that might be fun. And there might be some use for that next year. With that, I'm going to go back to a test card. Professional, I like that, Paul. Appreciated that comment. Of course, possibly the best amateur television picture in the world. But I'm not gonna. I couldn't say that. So I'll go with the cube zoom and a fade to black.
So, yeah, I'm there. That's great. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. To all of you watching directly or via YouTube, and especially, of course, those available in the net at the moment. Gary, Leon, Martin, Tom and Peter. I won't mention myself this time. Yeah, thank you, Gary, for guiding us today in this net. Really great that you're always doing that. Yeah, regarding the weather in the Netherlands, it's really warm. That means we've got 27 degrees at the moment outside, and there is no wind. That means virtually no wind. So I should have been somewhere else. Let's have a look. Maybe I can take you to the beach here, which is about 2 kilometers, 2.5 kilometers from my house. It's the wrong one. It is the wrong one. That's not what I intended to show. I intended to show you this. This is a live image of the beach in Castricum, which is, well, actually Limmen is situated in Castricum. And as what you can see, people are swimming in the sea. And enjoying themselves in the sun. So that is great. Yeah, but we have the worldwide net, isn't it? So we are sitting in our shack at high temperatures and sweating. Okay, what I should mention, that is 1.5 weeks ago, I did receive a WhatsApp message, and the telephone number started with 27, and initially I did not trust that. So I made some investigation, but it proved to be Frank, Zulu Sierra 6 Golf Echo. And Frank was visiting the Netherlands, and yeah, he later wrote, would you mind if I pass by? And that happened actually. That was really nice. He was visiting his daughter and his son-in-law. And well, that means Frank, together with his son-in-law, came to my house, and we even made a DATV QSO with Gary. Thanks, Gary, for serving us in that way. Okay. Yeah, Leon, your VT101 microscope, I really enjoy that thing. It's a tiny microscope, but it helps a lot to show tiny stuff. Yeah, you talked about the plane crash, and earlier this afternoon also Gary told about it, that it was quite near to Ed's house. And that is astonishing, of course, when you see something happening like that. Well, I did not see it myself ever, really a plane crashing, but it must be 10 to 15 years ago when I saw a crashed plane lying quite near to Schiphol Airport. That was a 737, and yeah, if you imagine what that means to the people who were in that aircraft, that is, yeah, it's unbelievable. You can't imagine. Yeah, you also talked about spares, Leon. I think they were delivered at my house because I did receive them from Benno, and actually I ordered them, and I think it took 2 days, and I had them at home. So that was really quick delivery. Yeah, Martin, interesting what you showed regarding digital mobile radio. I have never been active in that area, so it's all new to me. Yeah, not all new in the sense that I did not know that it did not exist. Of course I knew that it did exist, but I was never active in that area, and perhaps that was also a bit related to my previous profession, because digital mobile radio, or mobile radio in general, that is what I was busy with every day. Yeah, you also showed a sample of TechMinds. That's always interesting. And Radio Caroline, I clearly remember the days when I was young, listening with my tube radio to radio stations like Radio Caroline and Veronica. Yeah, those were great times. Tom, good to see you again. Sorry that you have been sick, but at least you told that you did recover from your flu, and hopefully you will be energetic soon again. And still thanks for OpenTuner. I'm still using the version 0.9. But when I have completed the Winterhill receiver, I will convert to the latest release, Tom. Yeah, and Peter, what I remember watching YouTube last week, that is that you showed your old cameras. And I really enjoyed that because I did remember them. And what you especially see is the huge improvement in video quality if you compare the modern cameras which you are using today and the older ones. The colors also 30 to 40 years ago were great, as what I've seen, but yeah. Furthermore, the modern cameras perform far more better. Huh? Yeah, I will be leaving to Austria next week, and that means that you will be missing me in the net for 3 to 4 weeks. That's what I expect. But I will be active in single sideband on the narrowband transponder. Hopefully I will also be able to meet Christian, OE8 SEQ, and also Paul, OE8 PCK. We were also already in contact via WhatsApp. Yeah, if it's possible, we will set up a meeting there. Yeah, normally in Austria, I do visit the meetings of Bos Arsa. A lot of hams come together there, really at a beautiful location in the neighborhood of Klagenfurt. Yeah, let's say if radio amateurs meet each other, that is great. But in Austria, they are also able to drink a beer and to have excellent food, including it. Yeah, I think I've missed that because I'm a bit late regarding the visit in Austria. Yeah. Because I am going there, I intend to bring some equipment, and yeah, in the previous years I simply broke down the equipment downstairs and brought that to Austria, but this time I thought I want to bring something that I especially made for yeah, portable activities. So as you are used to that, I put everything in the presentation, and I'm going to share it with you. Let's see whether the presentation comes up. It is unbelievable. It seems to work. Yeah. Basically what I'm going to talk about, that is a power amplifier which I've recently built, that means last week, and it's based upon a Stealth 40 watt power amplifier. It's a module which I had lying around for a few years already, and it's really an old design. So I had a major question. It's 15 years old. It is not power efficient at all. I can say what to do with it. Simply throw it away or still use it. Well, you will understand now that I decided to use it. Well, let's have a look at the power amplifier setup which I used in the previous years. I'm showing it here. Well, the picture is not that clear, apologies for that. But this was the setup. At the left you see our caravan, which we are using in Austria, and the 60 centimeter dish. and down there is the power amplifier which I'm using today. Yeah, basically it's my home equipment. But again, I thought about the module, had to look at the specifications. Here you see the specifications of the stealth microwave module. And if you look at the specifications, first of all, the frequency range was not correct, and that means that I've modified the module such that it can be used for the 2.4 gigahertz band. If you have a look at the, let's say, output power, plus 47 dBm, that is really high. That means for SSB purposes. Well, I also gave it a try with DATV. And actually, well, the signal came through, but the power level was a bit too low to have reliable contacts. So I decided not to bring the DATV. I will only bring single sideband. Okay, furthermore, also if you look at the third order intercept point, that is really high. So that means that this amplifier is really meant for yeah, linear purposes in the mobile environment. That is where the module comes from. Yeah, what's also interesting, and that is what the arrow is for. If you look at the current which is drawn at 12 volts power supply, it's 15 amps. And I thought, well, it will be not that bad, but it is that bad. It drains a lot of power. And creates also a lot of heat, and you need to do something with it. Well, let's have a look inside in the power amplifier. If you look inside, yeah, it's really a professional power amplifier module. You see the power gallium arsenide FET. Three of them are inside. They are all equal. And at the output, you see the circulator. Which is nice because it means that this power amplifier cannot be damaged. And output power is being reduced automatically, of course, when the standing wave ratio is poor. So that is all inside the unit. I had a look at these matched power FETs. It's an old type of FET. Yeah, it's a design of about 15 to 20 years ago, I think, but really modern at the time. And even if you look at the specifications today, it is not bad at all. Yeah, today we have LDMOS, much more efficient, but still these FETs can perform. There's one, let's say, thing is wrong, because here you see that these FETs were tested at 2 gigahertz, but I do have the 3 type, and that is meant for a little bit higher frequency. Okay, so as what I mentioned, I did own the module. I made an enclosure for it from aluminium plates, as what you can see, and these rails, which are used in 19-inch racks. Yeah, I made the rest myself. That is not that difficult. This is how it looks like. In the middle you see the module. I showed it before, I think, and it is situated in between two Meanwell power supplies. I need to deliver 12 volts and at minimum 15 amps. Of course, I could have bought a 12 volt power supply, a single one, but they are rather expensive, and I wanted to do it low cost. So I bought these power supplies for less than 10 euros. Needed 2 of them, put them in series, of course, with some diode, but it works great, and it does deliver 12 volts and 15 amps. This is how the front side looks like. As what you can see, I put such a Chinese meter inside, showing the voltage, and if I drain current, then you also see the amount of amps. There is a fan inside, so I pull active air through the unit, through the enclosure. And this is the backside, how it looks like. And yeah, I intend to bring that to Austria. Of course, I made a test setup. What you now see is that, let's say, the test dish is exactly the same as the dish which is fit at home for the narrowband transponder. And here, yeah, this is really a temporary setup, of course, the amplifier which I've built, and it does perform. That is great. Okay, let's go back to see myself, the camera. Yeah, here I am. That was the presentation about, let's say, my building activities of the last 2 weeks. That means electronic building activities, because there also have been car activities. After the holidays, I want to complete my car, honestly. That's what I intend to do. And furthermore, I bought a 26 gigahertz spectrum analyzer. It is not functional at the moment, and hopefully I will be able to repair that thing. Well, that's the news from Limmen. I propose to hand over to Gary. And perhaps, Gary, you can check whether Mike is on the air or not. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We go to South Africa.
It doesn't look like Mike's on. Okay. Yeah, I was hoping he would come on. He left a message. I tried to explain to Mike what Leon's project's all about, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, it doesn't come through. I typed a message, press enter, and it doesn't come through. So that's a bit of a pity. But anyway, Mike, it's a very small double sideband 40-meter transmitter that can fit into a cigarette box, which Leon's developed. And he had his first QSO with it this morning, I believe. So all good. I just want to say hi to Joe, 9 Hotel 1 Golf Tango. Joe was a chap that sent us some beautiful pictures on the tubes, on the different valves. And hello to you there, Joe. And then Stuart, a message to Martin. I have successfully built myself an All-Star on a Raspberry Pi 3 and use it in place of Echolink to chat to various people via the 2-meter repeaters in Johannesburg. The quality is excellent. 73 Stuart ZR1 Whiskey Tango. Yeah, he's got a Division 1 call sign. I'm not sure if Stuart has relocated down to the Cape. He lived in Johannesburg, and Natalie lived in a flatlet he had while she was studying to become a chartered accountant. So I've known Stuart for many, many years. And then hello to Dirk, ZS6 Delta Hotel. He says good day to all. And all Rodo Alfredo, IK1 Charlie Oscar Alpha, ciao. And also to Ishmael, hello, from DL2IE. Okay, so those are the guys on WhatsApp. There's 22 guys on YouTube at the moment. 9 concurrent views, so not bad. Just to quickly go down the net, I want to show the camera. Let me get this going. I just want to quickly show what we were talking about last week, and that is the DATV, the microscope camera. I got a new lens for it this week, and that's the lens. It's a bit bigger than the old one that was there. It's supposed to have a zoom control. I'm not figuring out how that zoom works yet, but if you look at that little bias board, and that's about 700, 600 millimeters up from the actual thing, from the little board, and there's a tiny choke, little choke on the thing. You even under normal circumstances you battle to see the thing, And that's a view of the choke. It's zoomed into that choke. You could actually count the windings, and that's a blob of epoxy they put onto that little choke, which is on a surface mount board. And then I could even zoom it up a lot further. For example, you can actually see the dust on the thing. So the camera works very, very well. I can't complain about that at all. And I will send you the info a bit later, Paul, on YouTube, sorry, on a normal chat channel. And then, Leon, that's a very, very nice, nifty little device you have there. I actually use my cell phone to do exactly that when I can't read medicine labels or something that's small, but that's quite handy. It's got a big magnification, and I'm sure it can be used quite successfully on a circuit. I'm sure you must try it on a circuit board and see what it does for you. But it's handy and well done. Okay, Martin, yeah, DATV, or sorry, say I use the Motorola D-Star, what do you call it? DMR. I also use D-Star, but I've never been a fan of this because the audio in my mind is not good. I've got a nice Motorola proper mobile set, puts out quite a few watts. Very nice, and all its audio is not bad, but I'm not that impressed with some of the audio that we do receive. It sounds a bit like talking down a pipe. And Tom, yeah, sorry to hear you weren't well, man. Yeah, the flu's been knocking people all around this area, and it's very dusty today, and it's quite hot. It was 27 degrees Celsius outside just now, and very dusty from the dumps, and the cold weather should be arriving, I'm sure. That's thanks to Leon's snow. I don't know if Leon's got snow on the mountains at the moment, but our cold weather always comes from Leon. So I do ask him occasionally to please close the fridge door. And then Peter, yeah, good signal from you. You know, I remember guys playing with audio, and they got all sorts of audio processors and stuff. But there's one thing, you can do nothing about a ropey voice. So now you have an excellent TV signal. You claim it's the best in the world, but we cannot do much about the subject matter. Pulling your leg. Yaesu Fusion. No, I'm using the ICOM, but Fusion I don't use. Adam, he asked if we used Fusion. I don't use that. There's too many of these digital things running around. It's like the old tape recorders, you know, video tapes, where you had the beta type and then you had VHS. 101 different systems instead of standardizing. Now, at least with the digital side, it's much better. And Paul, you must have a good time on holiday. We'll look out for you on SSB for sure. And it's a nice setup you've got there, mobile, beautiful cabinet. Very, very well made. No problem at all. All right. To you, Leon, ZS1 Mexico, to please take it from ZS6 Yankee India.
Right, hopefully I jumped in. Sorry, Leon. You're not reading the chat, guy, and Paul passed it to you, not to me, so that's why I didn't transmit. The reason you're not getting any text through is because your login's expired, so you need to do /Nick and then your call sign and name in the usual way. Anyway, good afternoon. I've been away for the last few weeks. I was up in Bolton last week. Here this week. Not much to talk about apart from this thing, if you remember this thing. Hopefully you can see that because it's prominent in the shot. Well, thanks to Martin, G4FKK, I have a tape. And it even works. Don't want to blow any copyright here. But you can see it works. I just recorded something and it was fine. Martin had some stuff on the tape which I've dubbed incidentally, and one of the things that was on there was a QSO, a top band QSO from probably 1990 or something like that, early 90s, which Martin is saying I don't think he remembers when it was, but he says the noise level's very low, so it was a long time ago, before VDSL and all those other things. Yeah, Gary, but the gap wasn't long enough because I thought he'd been passed to you, so I didn't take it. No, not much else to talk about really, but the DMR stuff, I've got one of those hotspots and I've got a TYT handheld because I thought I'd try it, but didn't really find much use with it. There's several problems. One is there's huge fragmentation. There are hundreds of, well, not hundreds, but many different standards, many different modes. DMR, DV, Yaesu Fusion, not just one single universal one. Secondly, the audio generally sounds rubbish because, for reasons unknown, the bitrate is incredibly low in the time of fibre internet, and even over the air there's more bandwidth than there's being allowed for, but I guess it's using a fairly primitive style of modulation, GMSK probably, so there's not that much bandwidth, but yeah, it sounds awful, too much fragmentation, and it's incredibly difficult to set up, and very, very complicated. So that's why I think it hasn't really taken off. ICOM had their standard DV, and there were a few DV repeaters up in Bolton's, also a few Echo Link repeaters and a few DMR repeaters. Why they all have to be different, I don't know, but I guess it's proprietary. Anyway, for those who don't know what this is, it is a UA 4400 report stereo. It is a tape recorder, portable, from the late 60s through to the early 80s, before the alternatives became better. I think they actually were produced up into the 90s. I have here the modern equivalent from about 10 years ago. Oops, that's the breeze, shut the door. Does all the things this thing does, only digitally and with a longer record time. So that's why they died, basically. These things came along, but nice and retro. And Paul, your stealth amplifier, that's what I'm using, and that's what I'm using to send this signal. It's probably transmitting about 16, 17 watts, maybe 20 watts at the moment, because I've got a tree in the way now. It used to run on about 10, so I've had to increase the power. But I have two of them actually. I have the 50 watt version and the 20 watt version. I'm using the 50 watt version, which covers the band, covers 2.3 to 2.5, but the 2.5 to 2.7 covers 2.4 as well, so you don't need to modify it. The only thing is it's in class A and it takes 18 amps at 12 volts mine, and it doesn't matter if you're transmitting or not, it still takes 18 amps. So in fact it's more efficient when you're transmitting, in terms of the amount of heat it produces, than when you're not, class A. I just put a big fan on it and left it. I've not tried to make it more efficient. Yeah, I'm sure you could do, but is there really any need? On SSB it's the most inefficient amplifier you can imagine. On DATV, when you're transmitting constantly, the 240 watts or so it takes to produce 20 watts is definitely not good. Under 10%, but it seems to cope with it, has done so far, and it will run all day if you
if you have to do an uplink for something like BATC convention or whatever. Okay, that's it. Sorry for jumping in, Leon. Round to you. And let's have another look at the microscope. By the way, Cricket, you didn't see my comment. Oh yes, Gary, you fixed your chat issue, but everybody else who should be on the chat, I think you need to re-register, re-put your nickname in, because there were only about 6 people on the chat when I checked in earlier. So I think a lot of people have sort of timed out, because it does that about once a month. Right, so round to you, Leon. G0 MJW. Let's put up a test card. There we go.
Okay. G0 MJW in the group, ZS1MM returning. Whew, it's time for me to go. Yeah, Mike, well, why didn't you say what did you want to know about the cricket? I just called it the cricket because it rhymes with my surname Corky Cricket. Okay, let's see. Okay, Gary, yeah, that AR-72 plane, I've flown in those many times. For 7 years I flew in those things, because that's what they use in New Zealand, for going from the North Island to the South Island. When you go to New Zealand from South Africa, you land in Australia, and then you go with a Boeing or something. You land in the Northern Island of New Zealand, and then you get onto a AR-72 and you fly to the South Island, to Invercargill. And they're very nice planes. They twin turboprop planes. Very interesting configuration. The guy would start up the engines, but the props are standing still. The one engine he uses as an APU, so that the air conditioning and the electrics and stuff on the plane is going while the prop is standing still. It's just being braked. And then when he wants to start to taxi, he just releases it all, and there it goes. And they're very reliable. So I don't know what happened with that one. It sounds like there was an explosive device on board or something, or the horizontal stabilizer broke off or something. But that shouldn't happen on an AR-72. They are very reliable, absolute workhorses. Okay, yeah. Martin G at KOE, your audio sync was way out for you. That's unheard of, but yeah, it was out. Tom, the cricket is absolutely in its infancy. It's just once I'm happy with the performance, I'll make a PC board for it, and it must be a transceiver. I haven't even touched the receiving part yet. But yes, it's got a digital display. It goes up and down in 10 hertz steps. You can select the what do you call it? The chunks. Do you want to go up in 10 hertz, 100 hertz, 1 kc, 10 kc, whatever? If you want to dial, do you want to go in 1 meg steps? We originally thought of running it or making it for 40 meters only, because that seems to be a very popular band locally nowadays. 80 meters is just too noisy. But yes, I've tried it. It works on 80, it works on 40, it works on 20, because everything is broadband. Anyway, we'll talk about that some other time when I can show you something decent. Peter, the VT101 can focus. I can show you. Just switch it on. Oh, I must switch off the light. Come on, switch off. We don't need light now. So if I have it there, and it almost makes it at about a meter. So it'll focus for quite a distance. It's not just for like 5mm stuff or so. It's got quite a wide focus range. Okay, what else was the yeah, Paul's mobile amp. That's very neat, eh? With the two power supplies. Yeah, who cares about the efficiency if you're running off mains? When you're running off batteries, of course, it's a different story. And Mike, the Ewer, yes, I also have one, but mine is the mono version. I actually had two. I've given the one to somebody. I can't even remember who. They actually, for the time, they were quite good. We used them in the SABC, and also, of course, the Nagras. We had lots of Nagras as well. Yeah, I have that digital thingy that you have there. I have the bigger one, the Tascam. It's bigger. It's about that size and really super quality. All the features on that thing, it's amazing. It even has phantom power for driving external condenser microphones and stuff. So I use that sometimes. Anyway, that's it from me, gentlemen. I have to run. Because I have to go to Bredasdorp. So, 73s from me. I'll see you next time. From ZS1, Mike. Gary, over to you. While I'm packing, I'll be listening. ZS6, Yankee India. For the group from ZS1, Mike saying 73s.
Did we make it? Did we not? Have we got sound? Is it more in sync? Probably not. Make it? Did we not? Sound? Is it more in sync? Probably not. I've forgotten I'm running a different install of DATV Red, and I think it probably had a different delay in it. It was 6.5 instead of 4.5, which I think works out to be right. And to you there, yeah, first Gary and All Star, the comment that someone's using All Star with the little interface. I've ordered one of those interfaces as well, which I'm going to give a try and do a comparison with and give it a comparison with my other node. So I will be setting up a completely independent node, and I'll set it up so as people can access to it from the outside world. That'll be I've got another node number set up, which is the dark side. We used to use it in the past, so that'll come back to life. And DMR there. It's not difficult to set up at all there, Mike. It was difficult to set up and fiddly, and you had to know what you're doing. But now when you've got, it says trying to find PyStart. Let's go back to the center image. That's the PyStart settings. You just download the image, burn it onto a Raspberry Pi, put in your top hat or whatever you've got interface, and you go to configuration, and you select which mode you want, DMR for instance. This one I've got the frequency set and my ID and the call sign, and the fact that the modem type is a spot, so you've got to put that in, and the Brandmeister, and away you go. It's very easy. It's all done for you with the MMDVM side of things, which was obviously done by Jonathan Naylor, which you presumably know. And if so, have you seen the video that he explains? Because he was originally told, no, you can't do it. If you've known Jonathan at all, you don't tell him he can't do something, because he had spare time in his various travels in hotels. But there's a video which I'll play a short bit of it, but I can stick, whilst it's playing, I'll stick the link up to it, which is him giving a lecture at, I think it was Radio Club it was now. Anyway, let's just stick that on briefly.
Okay, so this is a talk called the MMDVM, or the Road to the MMDVM. Bit of a silly title, really. It does include the background as well, but it's also how I got here, what it's doing, and what the future holds. As I said before, this is based on the talk I gave at Hamcation in the States in February last year, and that indeed was probably based on what I did at Free.
That's the link up if anybody wants to watch it in full. The origins of MMDVM. He's done absolute wonders there. Without it, we wouldn't be where we were. But on saying that, I'm going to go the route of the other video done by you know, my mind's going at the moment, but Tech Minds, that's right, isn't it? Which, if you look at that, it shows all the setup, where to download the software that's needed, etc., etc., etc. Where to get your node number, what settings you need to change initially. But there's loads and loads of more for these Linux operators that can go in and to their heart content modify things. So and the quality is good. So you know, do give it a try there, Tom. If you're feeling inspired, I think you'd be in your element. And best of all, it means you can use this radio, which is what I use, and works exceedingly well. So your 10 quid or whatever, nice cheap radio, you have good quality, and you can wander around the house, or you could sit in front of your main TV and have a chat back. Yeah, I'll read what you've written there, Mike. You've got plenty of time, but do look at his video anyway. Right. And sorry to hear, Tom, that you've not been feeling too good. I think the last time I was really ill was glandular fever, which I was off work for 6 months. That still sticks in my mind. So I'm too old now. Anyway, on that little note, I'm feeling better now, and it's hot here. It's according to my weather station, it's 26.9 in and 26.6 out. And the temperature in my garage, even though I've got some cooling on, is on the PA at the moment is 35 degrees. And it's getting quite warm out there, actually. The Pluto's quite hot. So is Nigel going to come in next? I'm happy for him to come in. So anyway, I don't know. I'm confused now. Reading the chat. Where's it going? I'm gonna throw it to Tom, unless you jump in there, Gary, and say differently. So otherwise things are going to get confusing. So I'll put a test card, and it's all over to you, there, Tom or Gary.
I got the setup. Yeah, thanks for letting me in, chaps. 2E0EHH. Got everything sorted. Still got the problems with the update on the Windows in. Yeah, thanks for letting me in, chaps. No. Come on. I've muted it, Stab. Yeah, still using DATV Easy. So it's all good. I'm a bit dark because I left the door open on the shack because it's hot. It's 26 degrees inside, and my app's only just switched the amp on. It's reading 23 on the amp at the moment. That's indoors. I've got a fan on, so that's everything's hunky-dory. Yeah, Tom, do you know when you start your DATV Red, is there any instructions where to download the software? Because I might have a go. But I mean, why DATV is working? You know, one half of me saying leave it alone, just use what you've got. But I always like to try and advance a little bit if I can. That's looking ahead in the future. And OBS, I'm running OBS, but I can't seem to update. Just says brings the update page, but where it used to say load the updates at the bottom, it's missing. So I don't know what's the problem. But again, that's running 30.12, and that works. So do I need to update it? So you know, I try and take a leaf over Liam's book, as if it's working. Leave it alone. But anyway, I didn't put my name down on the normal spreadsheet because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get in. But now I thought I had time to get in. I'm going to say hello, and I'm going to cut carrier and hand it over back to Tom. And thanks, Tom, for letting me come in. ZR6GTG when I drop carrier. I'm trying to take it. Tom, thank you very much for letting me in, mate. And good afternoon and good evening, good morning to everybody. I hope someone else watching on the YouTube. Okay, let's get a test card back up. Do that. Do that. Wait for it to show.
Thanks, Nigel. Well received there. From Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf. And good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. I had some issues decoding you there for a second, but it might be on my side. It's a bit windy here, so my dish is waving all over the place. But yeah, it was nice seeing everybody again today. Leon, yeah, I'm quite keen to see more about the cricket transceiver. It sounds pretty neat, so it might be a fun little project. So yeah, definitely let me know if you're at that point. Martin, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have a look at that all-star node. I've got something else that I've, while we're talking about digital modes and that, I've got one of these M17 boards that I've been wanting to play with, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. So also new, more, well, it's a well, I think the idea is a more open source digital mode, that's accessible to all, something along those lines. So yeah, I want to play with that and get that going as well. So hopefully I'll get to that soon as well. Peter, there is quick tune capability for OpenTuner. You just need to enable it, and then the settings is very similar to MiniTuner. Send me an email if you're struggling with that, then I can send you some instructions and sort that out for you. But that possibility is there. And Paul, good to see you. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better, thank you. Still a bit coughing and a bit small, you know, still feeling the side effects yet, but yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. And yeah, very well done on that amplifier, or that whole portable station of yours. Looks like it'll be a nice addition to your Austria trip. So enjoy the trip and be safe. Okay, I think that's pretty much all from me. Oh, Mike, it was good seeing you there as well. Nice little retro recorder you've got there. Really enjoyed that as well. Okay, I'll be sure to have something more prepared for next week, and I'll definitely be back on the net a lot more regularly. Gary, as always, thanks for hosting it there. Okay, I'm gonna hand it over to who's next. Oh, it's Peter. Peter, GW7BZY, here from Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf. 73, everybody, have a good week.
Okay. Bit bored with the cube zoom. I'm going to go for the rotate. The cube rotate that time. Yes. What was that, Gary? A bit harsh, I was going to say. Face for TV and a voice for silent films, as Mike properly corrected me. Yeah, not. And I cut my hair and everything, especially. Even shaved now. While I was watching, I got my electric shaver going. There we are. I could be hurt. Yeah, all good. What was I going to say? Yeah, old days I used to be at Morn FM. We've got a local radio station in these parts. It's not really relevant to this, but it's just, which is always Morn FM, which I did a bit with for a while. Unfortunately, Tony, the guy who ran it, the leading light and sort of the main mover, big part of Morn FM, and I think Morn FM was a big part of his life, passed away, unfortunately. So that's very sad news. It happened yesterday. Paul, yes, power supply. I've got a 32 volts PA, which takes quite a lot of amps, and I too bought smaller PSUs, and I found that I had to put some. I'm sure there's a more technical way to it, but I put a couple of meters of maybe slightly too thin cable on them, and that's balanced them out. Otherwise, I find that one would be dragged in and would labour. They weren't working parallel properly when they were sort of just directly linked. But I put two cables on them, equal distance cables, equal length cables, both positive and negative, about 2 meters. And Bob's your uncle, I have no such problems anymore. When I put it on, if I put high power and one doesn't shut down, obviously the power's going from one to the other. Because mine's running 32 volts, whereas they originally started at 28 volts, and perhaps there's a little bit of a difference in the voltages from either power supply. So I think the extra resistance from the wire sorts that out. Chirp, I still don't know what Leon's chirp is about. I must have missed that somewhere in the conversation. I'm assuming his cricket. I assume it chirps us, or is it or what we used to hear would be like a repeater, but just bounces the audio in takes it in and repeats it out in that fashion. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, sorry to hear that you're not well, Tom. And I hope that you make a full recovery. The wife was pretty ill in January, and she ended up in hospital. She was, it was quite serious. They give you between 1 and 10 as you go in, and of course the lower the number, the quicker you're seen, and the less likely you are to survive. And she went in, and they classed her as a 1, so she was very ill with what they say is flu, but I think it's like a combination of that other disease and flu. And although her lungs weren't congested, they just weren't working, and they had to put on oxygen and what have you, and antiviral drugs, etc. It was a bit hit and miss, and she still isn't 100% as it happens. So you're doing well there. So of course you're a lot younger, so that's always a good thing. That's put them to start. That's about it. Thanks for I'll thank Gary again for the kind remarks he made about my face. Yeah, it's not a pretty sight, I know, but we can't all be handsome like yourself there, Gary. From GW7BZY. Who am I handing it to? I've got it written down. Paul. Excellent, Paul. Yeah, good. Yes, that was the power supply thing there. Nice amplifier. Let's hope the power supplies behave. Chinese power supplies, I suppose, is one of the reasons that there's quite a lot of variation. Are they do they have the capacity they pretend? Anyway, with that, I'm going to go back to my test card with another roll.
That was a wonderful roll. Again, it looks professional, Peter. Okay, excellent. Well, in general, to all, thanks for your good holiday wishes. I'll be back in 4 to 5 weeks. Mike, your transmissions always start with a wonderful 50 hertz while you're transmitting your test card. I think you do it on purpose, but it's horrible, to be honest. I like the UHER. It's a former German brand. Later on, they also made these, let's say, beautiful portable devices with a cassette player. But those were not that reliable. I remember that I did repair quite a few of these devices. Regarding the stealth power amplifier, indeed, it is the 50 watt, 40 or 50 watt version that I did convert. What I did replace the circulator at the output. That was the one and only thing that I had to do on it. And I did measure it actually as good as I can at home, and it really delivers 40 watts, perhaps even a bit more. So if you are using a larger dish than the 60 centimeters, then indeed it would be possible to use it for DATV, because looking at its linearity, that should be good enough. So I understand that you're using that one, Mike. Great. I did try it with DATV and the 60 centimeter dish, but I simply lacked about 6 decibels of output. And as a result of it, I was unable to decode. Well, Leon, you flew the ATR 72. I did not know, so that means that if you make a guess on what has happened on the plane, I really have to take that serious. Martin, I wondered about the Brandmeister logo in the right, what it means. Actually, I know what Brandmeister is, but does it mean that you're also transmitting over DMR? That could well be in parallel. And Nigel, good afternoon. This was your first transmission. To be honest, I had some difficulties with synchronization, first of all, to get a proper image. And secondly, also the sync difficulties regarding voice and video. That is completely out of sync. and then sometimes it's a bit difficult to understand you. But at least, yeah, I covered most. And Tom, thanks for showing the M17 DMR board. That is something to be investigated. And further, please recover it, because I can see that it's still a bit difficult for you. Peter, I had a look at the background, and I discovered you always have great stuff in the background, but this time a gun. Why do you need a gun in your studio? That's also really interesting. And yeah, then regarding the power supplies, as stated, it is quite easy, of course, to buy a proper power supply, but when I use power supplies, I always buy the cheapest ones actually, but mean well. And that means that the power amplifier that I'm running at the moment for DATV, it's using 4 power supplies of 6 volt. No, it's a bit more, 7 volt. And that in series makes 28 volts. And a lot of current, sufficient current, and that works well if you take proper protection measures. One of them is that I power them up sequentially, and secondly, you need to protect them with diodes, each of them, such that they don't get a negative current or a negative voltage at the output. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. Well, that completes it, I think, for this week. I wish you all the best. Have a good week, and hopefully we will meet soon again. That can be in SSB or later on in DATV again. Microphone and camera back to Gary, and I say bye-bye.
GMW, do you want to have another over, Mike? Did you come back? ZA6. Okay, I got the message. No more TX73. Okay, Mike. All the very best to you then. Nice coming up. And hello to Nigel. And, oh, yes, Paul, you must let us know. Benno's asking as well, when will you be on narrowband? Yeah, or just give us a WhatsApp call and we'll try and be there as well. Just want to play one thing quickly just for fun. That is, I've got this microscope camera, Paul, on my Pluto board. You can actually see the one Pluto light flashing there on the right-hand side. And, of course, one can increase the thing quite a bit. The zoom, if I can just find the control, that I can't find now. That's very clever. There it is, right in front of me. So, thing's very, very sensitive. If you just touch the table, it goes up. Let's see if it works. Yeah. So it's quite a lot of zoom, more than enough. Just go back to that. All right, with this, I'm going to close the net. I've got this Don throat, and hello Don. Echo India 8 Delta Juliet. Nice to see you there, Don. It'd be nice to have you up from Ireland at some time. Be wonderful to have you on. And yes, that M17 project, by the way, that was started, according to Adam, in Sierra Papa land, which is where Adam hails from. So he knows all about the M.17 project. And I think it's to do with fusion, isn't it? The Yaesu fusion system. But yeah, all interesting things. And maybe Adam can come up sometime and give us a little bit more information about that. Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with your face. I knew I was pulling your leg there. All I said was, like some of the voices, they play around with audio, they do what they like, but they still have ropey voices. So there's not much one can do with the subject matter behind the camera, or shall we say in front of the camera. Good fun. Right, with that, guys, I'm going to close the net. Wish everyone a happy week. Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say, for those that were not on earlier, I got a message from Ed. Actually, he didn't send it to me. He just put it on his Facebook page. And I happened to see it the second he put it on. Came as a little, shall we say, alert. And this was the airplane that had crashed about 300 odd meters from his garden. It wasn't far. It was virtually there. And he showed a video of the thing spiraling and hitting the ground. And because he heard a bang, apparently, and then he got his camera and he started to go outside. He saw this and it crashed, and you saw this plume of black smoke. And then he panned the camera some more, and you could see all these dishes, like we have often seen on his picture. All these dishes, these radio dishes. And then a bit later, he was on South American, on Belgian television, not Belgium, on TV anyway. And he had a long interview, but he must have done it from his shack because he had his traditional headphones on, and he must have been doing a Teams or a Zoom meeting because it was on their local television, and he was on for quite a while. So I was hoping he'd be on today to tell us more. I think it's 62 people that had passed away. They're not sure. There's many theories going around, of course, why the plane crashed. Yeah, I've been on those as well, Leon, when I used to go to the factory in New Zealand, in Palmerston North. I remember my daughter and I went on one of those, Natalie, and we had the All Black team on the same plane with their coaches. They were going to actually do some training in a place called Palmerston North, and that's where the factory, the one factory we had was. So anyway, they are reliable, but you know, these things also have fatigue, and you never know what happened, eh? But time will tell, and I'm sure Ed will keep us abreast of what's happened there. But it wasn't a nice experience for the chap yesterday, Friday. It was also Quentin's birthday. He would have been 42 on Friday. And it coincided with a tragedy we had in South Africa many years back. The very day Quentin was born, we had a military helicopter being shot out of the sky, and there were 15 people killed on that one. All good, strong Parabat soldiers. And that was also a tragic day. It was tragic on the one side, having all these Parabat guys dying, and from our side it was joyful because we had a newborn son who became ZA6 India Yankee. Anyway, so that's it. So with this, I'm closing the net. Wish everybody on frequency that was watching, 43 guys, 13 concurrent views, and hello to Don, Echo India 8 Delta Juliet, and all the others on. We hope to see you next week. This is ZA6YI, now closing station. 732 all.
Yeah, 730 Gary. Thanks a lot. I was just going to answer some of Paul's questions that he asked. If Tom's still listening, I did try M17. I modified the RT3 that I'd got and had one of my hotspots set up for it, but I didn't get very good results, probably because I didn't know what I was doing. The audio was very low, even on the modified RT3, but possibly on the module you've got. Tech Minds, he's got a nice video, and I think he's equipped. If you needed to test, give him a call. He's always he's the one that got me to initially start, and I think it's just too much in its early days. It's nice that it's open source, and yeah, the Brandmeister DATV QO-100. I'm monitoring talk group 9100. There, Paul, if you're still listening. If we go to the other camera, that hotspot down there is monitoring talk group 9100. If I key up on the handheld, it'll come up on 9100. HKN popped up briefly just now. So that's what that's doing. And plastic guns. Well, I have my plastic gun, which was bought for me by my son many years ago. That's, the reason he bought it for me is the name, which is my surname, Newell. It's a repeater. But if we wander along and go to the other end, there she goes. It's got loaded up with two balls. But, I used to have that hanging up, but that's my gun. So hopefully that answers the query on the Brandmeister there. So I've got it set up on Brandmeister, gone into self-care, and pointing it talk group 9100 to that one. But I will have an all-star node set up specifically for DATV side of things. It's my aim anyway, as soon as the live. Yeah, okay there, Tom. That's good. Yeah, no, it's a good video, and because he built the little handheldy bit as well, and was quite involved, and is quite knowledgeable at that side of things. He set up my hotspot as well, because in let's go to the center screen. Obviously the MMDVM, not that one. I don't want that one, do I? I want the so if we go into the configuration, it has M17 mode available. Now, will it works or not works or whatever, but it is in the config M17. So be interested in how you get on with it, whether it is successful. I like the idea, and I can see the fascination for it, but it was a bit too complicated for me. It was out of my depths. As you know, it's very limited, and there was one thing I was going to ask. When you with Open Tuner, the MQTT client, when is that used and what is it for? I know on DATV Red, it's used. I've got an MQTT server arrangement that's in conjunction with that, but I wasn't quite sure what it did in Open Tuner. I haven't got it ticked, and I can confirm that I can control it all from within DATV Red, because I've got the other bits ticked. That works well. Anyway, that's a long waffle from me. I'll disappear, and thanks again for the net there, Gary. Another good one. They always are. and look forward to seeing you next week there, Tom. And interested, you can use it to send MQTT data from OpenTuner. So, for example, if you want to send it to DATV Red dashboard, I'll send you some info. Thank you. Yeah, I must be being exceedingly thick there on. There's a number of things like that I sort of avoid doing anything with. It's like DATV Red. I'm sure there's a lot more I could do, but I lose my way very easily. But yeah, that's interesting. At the moment, I've got it set up in DATV Red, so as I can click on any of the ones. I've got 2, 3, 4, 5 do the Winter Hill, and 6 and 7 do the Pico Tuner, Open Tuner side, which is just 2 windows, which I actually prefer just having the 2 windows. And I find the 2 go together exceedingly well. Well humoured. Very much there, Tom. Get well. This was supposed to be a short over, really, but it's all things going on, too much going on, and check KOE. Going to go back to standby. 7-3's on. Too much going on, and check KOE. Going to go back to standby. 7-3's on.
Yeah, Martin, 2E. Subject, mate. I'll show you my hotspot. I've not got it wired up yet, but I mean, I used to do WhatsApp quite a bit. Pi-Star, I think it was set up, but yeah, very interesting to see get it going again. But yeah, that's my one. So yeah, I thought I'd show it you. I've not got it wired up yet, but I mean, I used to do WhatsApp quite a bit. Pi-Star, I think it was set up, but yeah, very interesting to see get it going again. But yeah, that's my one. So yeah, I thought I'd show it you.
Let's come back there, Nigel. Yeah, no, that's all mine is Pi-Star. My MMDVM board that's used, it says, I think I showed it earlier and you possibly weren't around, but let's go to the center screen. But that's my Raspberry Pi, and that's the top hat that we've got on it, and in my instance I've also got a screen connected to it, so that's the beastie. Had it for years, and that's what it looks like. I've got the screen, which is quite useful. So on that one, and also got an open spot which is also connected up, and also another MMDVM, which is a repeater type one. There's 2 time slots on that one, which is why it's got 2 aerials. Which I didn't put the main board together, I just put the Raspberry Pi to it. The main board was put together by G7RPG, who understood what he was doing with regard to programming things, which I don't. So I've got to thank him for that. But never used to work very well, but it seems to be working exceedingly well at the moment, so I can monitor 2 time slots. At the moment, the bottom one is monitoring talk group 9100, and the top one is monitoring the calling channel. So if I key up on the other radio, it says, no, it's I know why it's not. Well, it's not monitoring that at the moment because and I can't find the radio to select it. It says, where's it gone? Oh, I can see it. Leave module band. TYT. So let's go to the bottom slot, which is 9100. If I key it, that will start to work. He says, let's go back to that one. Right, so it's listening. If I key up, it will come up on the bottom one. And it also comes over on that one over there. So they're both monitoring that one. Anyway, all good fun. And it's only because I had them sitting in the cupboard doing nothing. So I've just connected it up to Brandmeister and selected in the self-care, not that you had to do it in the self-care, but talk group 9100. Yeah, okay then, Nigel. Oh, and I've got this oh, it's out of focus, this other little device there, which is touch screen, which enables me to select a number of other bits and pieces. My son keeps giving me bits and things. Anyway, it was supposed to be a short over, so I'll disappear. It's because I've got all the time being retired to play. Jake KOE, 7 threes all.